everyone. First of all, we would like to thank Dr. Mashari for giving us the opportunity to come here today and meet you. My name is Ahmed. I'm the appointed actuary of Gulf Insurance Group. This is a local insurance company in Kuwait, and we will give you more information about the company. I'm associate actuary from the Canadian Institute of Actuaries in Canada, and I studied in Egypt 15 years ago, and I have almost 15 years of experience in the insurance market, which is very relevant to the actuarial science, and we would like to give you, hopefully, a little bit of idea about who are we, what are we doing, and what do you need to prepare yourself to be an actuary, inshallah, hopefully in Kuwait. Before I start, I would like to introduce also my colleague, who is recently also and working on her actuarial pathway, and she will contribute with me in the presentation.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dina. I joined GIG 3 years ago. I'm a student actuary. I studied in both Malaysia and UK, Scotland, and I'm a few exams away from finishing my qualifications.
Thank you, Dina. Before we start about actuarial science, we want to let you know a little bit about GIG. What is GIG? How big is GIG? We are very proud of a local company in Kuwait who is one of the top 5 insurance companies in the MENA region, across the MENA region and North Africa. We will talk about this, and then since we are talking to students need to prepare themselves from year 1 at university, what kind of subjects you need, what kind of qualifications you need, what kind of systems and background you need to prepare yourself for this very unique profession. And we have also our colleague from the HR of Gulf Insurance Group to see if we have any kind of collaboration protocol that we can do with Kuwait University. We can also coordinate the discussion with the actuarial organizations in order to really start having actuarial science in Kuwait. In other GCC markets, we have in Bahrain a protocol, we have in Saudi Arabia a protocol, in UAE, in Egypt, in Jordan, but unfortunately we don't have in Kuwait. So hopefully if we can do something like this, we will have the first ever actuaries, Kuwaiti actuaries from the Kuwait market. GIG used to be a local company, a small company, maybe 10, 15 years ago, who had a business in Kuwait. And then they started to expand a little bit to other markets. And they expanded through acquisitions. So we have other companies in Jordan, in North Africa, in Algeria, and in Turkey. Today, we reached 13 countries of operation. And the hub is in Kuwait. So the Kuwait entity is the holding company that have another 15 companies in 13 different countries across the region. The level of premium increased from 20s, 30s million KD to 2.6 billion USD. This is forecasted in 2022. We couldn't share the real numbers because we are a listed company, and next month, inshallah, we'll release the numbers. So 2.6 billion, and why I'm sharing this number? Because this is the main revenue of insurance companies. This is the main income, the price of selling, and our services is different than any other industry. You can buy an iPhone, and you know how much is this iPhone, what's the cost of this iPhone. You add your profit on top of it, and this is the selling price of your device. But for insurance, we are providing a service. We are protecting you against risks. So if you have, God forbid, a fire, an earthquake, an explosion, theft, a car accident, death, health issues, all of these are protected by insurance companies. So in order to estimate the expected loss of these events, you cannot do normal statistics. You need to have another science there, which is probability of loss or probability of something. Of course, we have life insurance where we care about lives and deaths. And we have non-life insurance where we care about external events or even personal events, human-made events. So in order to get the 2.6, we need actuaries to price our product. And these actuaries use statistics, they use historical events to get the fair price for insurance companies. The second number I want to highlight is the size of assets for insurance companies. Our assets now increased to 4.4 billion USD. Half of this number for insurance companies is technical reserves. And this is something very important for us because it reflects how much provisions we should keep in order to protect the company from any future events. And who is reviewing the reserve of insurance companies? Actuaries as well. So actuaries play two important parts here: pricing of the insurance products and the reserving of insurance companies. What we heard from the previous presentation, financial risk management and operational risk management, there is another important one for us, which is insurance risk and reinsurance risk. This one only covered in the insurance market, pension sector, life insurance market, and this is covered by the provisions we have in our balance sheet. I will not talk a lot about the company, move directly to the other one. Anyone here has any idea, just raise your hand, about who is an actuary, what do they do? Good. None. Okay, so hopefully we can elaborate a little bit on this.
Yeah, that was going to be my question as well, about if any of the people in the audience or any of the students know what an actuary is or what an actuary does. It's commonly known when you ask someone or when you tell someone for personal experiences, from personal experiences, and also people reading about what people have said. They're known as accountants, they're known as mathematicians, they can be labeled as doing many things other than what they actually do. You can call or you can identify actuaries as financial engineers. You can identify them as people who take opportunities of identifying risk and finding ways to mitigate or eliminate the risks, whether they are considered to be the risks, as Mr. Ahmed has explained, or exploring other opportunities of risks. What do actuaries do? They use their mathematical, statistical education or background with the common knowledge of what's happening in the market and using statistics to define the likelihood of uncertain events and trying to put a price to it in order to decrease the impact, the financial impact it would have on the insurance company, and at the same time your obligation towards customers that they come and get insurance because they're coming to make sure that they're safe and they don't lose everything just at once. So the last part that I would talk about is that you need strong analytical skills and business knowledge in order to try to control the risk. I think we can move on to the next slide. Would you like to?
I just want to highlight one more point here. I know it looks difficult, but it's not that difficult because it's a profession similar to all other professions. We have engineers, we have doctors, we have finance people, and we have actuaries. If you look at engineer, for example, he's very good in mathematics and statistics, but he doesn't know finance. If you look at the finance people, they are very good in math, in finance, but they don't know insurance. For insurance people, they may lack one of them. So the actuary takes one piece from each of them. He knows statistics, he knows probability, he knows finance, he knows insurance. If you add all of them together, this is what the actuary does. This is an example of the different fields of the actuarial science. Of course, we have casualty, which is non-life insurance. Any one of you has at least a medical insurance or car insurance. This is the first column. Then we have health, and we have life, and we have retirement. There is another piece also, investment, but it's not a separate category because it could be part of any of these. I think we will explain what we do in the company much more than the generic one here, right? So we can pass this. Okay.
I will just touch briefly on the pathway to becoming an actuary, or the skills that are required. So according to what you can see on the slide, the academics, when you're studying during your university years, you would be studying similar things, such as I understood, everyone comes from a financial mathematics background or has been studying it. So you would need financial mathematics, probability, statistics, economics, accounting, modeling. You can check actuarial mathematics. Actuarial mathematics, just to say, it's slightly different than what you would study in financial mathematics or statistics, because it would be subjects related to life insurance, pensions, which are actuarial specific. Then you would know how investments work and the asset analysis in order to, I think Ahmed will explain how these things are related afterwards. Then, of course, you'd need risk management, newly added predictive analytics, and in all fields that you work, you need to know about professionalism. Regarding the technical skills, so we've separated them into computer skills that you have, Microsoft Office, specifically Excel, I would say, and VBA. Programming, you can do a lot of you can learn a lot of programming languages, but the ones that we found was related to our field or commonly used are RStudio, Python, and SAS. For visualization, because what's the point of understanding and knowing to know how to do everything without knowing how to communicate it to the audience that you're presenting to, or trying to explain it to the related parties, is visualization. Power BI is used in Tableau, which, I mean, you can have other softwares that you can use, but these are the ones that we came up with. Then we have the specific actuarial softwares, which you use for pricing, you use for reserving, reinsurance solutions, and capital modeling. These would be specific towards doing actuarial, getting actuarial outcomes. The practice areas that anyone could get into. So as Mr. Ahmed explained, you have different types of insurance. You have the casualty, which goes under P&C, including motor, property, and anything that is non-life, non-health related. You have the life actuary, health actuary, and the pensions. And for all of these different types of actuaries, you have also sub-segments of whether you do pricing, you do product development, you do reserving, and then you have the reinsurance capital modeling actuaries, which would be separately because they're done on overall all the business. Other specific or other areas that actuaries can work as are financial analyst actuaries, investment actuaries, risk actuaries, data analytics, and the newly added IFRS 17 actuaries, which is becoming a great, it takes up a lot of time of many actuaries currently in the market. I will just take you through an example of one of the societies, or one of the commonly globally recognized organizations of how to be an actuary. So this is an example from the SOA, the Society of Actuaries in the USA. First, you start with the foundation exams, where you can see you have financial mathematics, probability, economics, accounting, and finance, and of course the e-learning part. After you finish all of your exams, then you move to the next level, which you have fundamentals of actuarial mathematics, mathematical statistics, statistics for risk modeling and e-learning. And then, as you can see, by the time you get to your professionalism course, then you would be an associate, which is the first step or the first qualification that you can get as an actuary. And the newly added data science actuary, the highlighted boxes with stars, even if you do not finish your professionalism course, you can still be a data science actuary. So the first step is being an associate, and then afterwards, if you move on to specializing in one of the fields, then you become a fellow member. And the fields that you can specialize in are ERM, investments, life insurance, pensions or retirement benefit, health insurance, and general insurance. This is the basic, that I would say, pathway that you can go through. And there are other credentials or qualifications that you can get. There's the Chartered Enterprise Risk Analyst, which as actuaries, you can get the designation. You have IFRI, International Financial Reporting for Insurers, which is newly introduced in the Society of Actuaries for people who are specialized in IFRS 17. And then you have the Predictive Analytics Certification Program. I will hand it over to Mr. Ahmed.
I just want to add one point here. Also, maybe it's important for the doctor to see this. The importance of having a protocol with actuarial organization is to give students the opportunity to take exemptions from some of these subjects. You don't see something new here, like statistics. You studied statistics. They can evaluate your subject, your exams, and they can give you exemptions from this. So you can pass maybe 5, 6 subjects from here, and the remaining will be very few. You don't need to repeat all of this. The SOA can recognize what you are already studying and taking in the university side. And the good thing about, for example, the SOA is the path is split into different credentials. You don't need to finish all to be an actuary. You can get the foundation of actuary separate from your existing studies, and then you develop step by step until you become either associate or fellow, as Natalie highlighted. Yeah, these are the main 4 organizations that we have got our colleagues from them. The first one is IFOA, or Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in the UK, and we kept the link if you want to discover and research more. The second one is USA, for example, Society of Actuaries and the Canadian are very similar to each other. I am from the Canadian Institute, and Dina from Institute of Actuaries. Both have very similar topics together, and they both qualify actuaries in the region. And the last one is Casualty Actuarial Society. This is mainly for general insurance and the casualty business. And we can have a protocol with any of them so that the university can prepare new students to be an actuaries through their normal studies without doing something very new. Yeah. I think this is the last one. Yeah. The last one is some examples of how actuaries can play important role in the insurance company or other companies. We help everyone. Like you can call the actuaries your winning card in the company. It can help your risk management, it can help your finance, the board and the management, insurance and reinsurance teams, market and trends as well. No one can be specialized in all of these, but we have different teams who are focusing on life, non-life, market trends, and insurance. I will give you one example of each one. The board and management, the decision-making process of the company can be supported by the actuarial studies and analysis. So this is one area where we can support the management and the board. Insurance and reinsurance, if we want to transfer a risk to another company, then actuaries should evaluate this risk. If we want to price our products or reserve for our products as indicated from the beginning, actuaries will also be involved here. On the risk management, there are different areas. We can help the risk management team in the solvency assessment, capital adequacy, reserving adequacy, insurance and reinsurance risks, stress testing, and on risk self-assessment. These are very common areas on the risk management. On the finance, and this is also another potential for actuaries, the new accounting standards, IFRS 17, requires a lot of actuarial calculation, so that the traditional finance people cannot do this alone without having the technical team with them. So it's a mix of technical and finance team together who are working on this. Besides asset liability management and also budgeting and planning and cash flow projection, this is all done with the support of actuaries. The last one is market and trends, and as Dina highlighted, we have a new field in the actuarial science, which is data analytics. If you want to be a data scientist, you shouldn't only study programming and computer language. You need to have statistical background. We have developers in our companies and your companies for many years. They have 50 years of experience. Why they cannot be data science? Because they don't know statistics. You need to know what's the meaning of GLM, random forests, neural networks, the relationship, clustering, partitioning. These are statistical techniques that you need besides your computer language in order to be data scientists. And the people who are already having some background on these are actuaries. That's why they added a new field called data science for actuaries who can be specialized in this field. So this is another potential as well. So as you can see, there are many potentials for actuaries, not only in insurance, on investment companies, on banks, on the finance, on the reinsurance, pension schemes. We have مؤسسة التأمينات الاجتماعية in Kuwait. You need to project the assets required to protect the national people, and you need actuaries to do this. And the bad news here is that we don't have actuaries in Kuwait. We want to have actuaries in Kuwait because there is a high demand in all the sectors and very few number of actuaries. The last regulation in Kuwait, insurance regulation, approved only 5 actuaries for 40 companies, 40 insurance companies in the market, only 5 actuaries. And all of them are foreigners. We used to give all our business to external offices who take a lot of money from us to do our business. But when we started to invest in actuaries in the company, we have now, I think, more than 45 actuaries between fully qualified, partly qualified, and students as well. We can support students, we can support their exams, we can support their trainings and preparations. We can also accept students before graduation in order to give them more knowledge about the real world exercise, and we can also support them until they become qualified actuaries. We are more than happy to do that, and before we conclude, we would like to hear your questions or answer your questions. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question.